Hi there. I know it's a little bit before noon, but I'm just too anxious to share this with you. I seem to be all about the quick and easy snacks today. So we did peanut butter cookies this morning, just 5 ingredients in those, and they were flourless, yummy. And they came out beautifully and they taste delicious. I've already eaten 2. So anyway, now we're going to move on to 2 ingredient donuts. This is kind of like magic to me. It surprises me that it works, but it does. Since I did get on a little bit earlier, I do just want to let you know there's still time to register for building buttercream skills. And I have good news. We changed the time of that. So instead of being from 4:30 to 6, I think it is now 6:30 to 8:30. So not only did we move it to later in the afternoon, in the evening, I mean, it is also half an hour longer. So, because I think we'll actually really need that time in building buttercream skills. Hi, Jen. Thanks for watching. So anyway, on to our 2 ingredient donuts. Want to know what the 2 ingredients are? Box mix. I'm using dark chocolate today. And a can of pumpkin. All right, you got to make sure that it is just 100% pure pumpkin, not pumpkin filling. That's different. It's like got other stuff in it. So, and it's so super easy. We're literally going to dump both of these into the bowl and mix them up. You heard my oven timer just go off. It is set for 425, which I know sounds high, but that's what works. And it doesn't take very long at that temperature. You cook them for like 7 minutes. So these are chocolate donuts. And I know you're probably wondering about the pumpkin, but when you're making a dark chocolate cake, to add the pumpkin in, you really don't taste it. And these are going to be very moist, delicious donuts. I keep wanting to say cupcakes. Got my forky spatula here from Pampered Chef. Just dumping that in. Yeah, okay. I got to thinking, gee, I hope that it's not just 1 cup. You're supposed to use 2 cups of your mixin'. This is a 15-ounce can, so close enough. Put that on here. Again, I apologize for not having a camera so you can see from above what's going on. And I'm not going to try and move this one so that you can see, because I think I just make people seasick when I'm doing that. So I'm just mixing this until it all comes together and it's all wet. You know, there's no dry flying around. Okay. So that was super easy, right? I'm just scraping down the side because I do see pumpkin higher up on the sides and I want to get that well mixed in with the cake mix. So I'm just checking, but my thinking is that this is actually a dairy-free recipe because the ingredients in here are just pumpkin. Oh, but I wonder if there's... Well, anyway, I'm not an expert in those things. I'm kind of one of those bakers where if it turns out that it happens to be dairy-free or gluten-free or any of those things, great. But I don't specialize in those areas. So, all right, just scraping off my scraper here. The next thing we're going to do is transfer this into a bag. You could just use a gallon Ziploc bag. I happen to have piping bags around due to what I do. So I'm going to use that. Now this is a very thick batter. You can see that. Okay. So it's not going to like run out the end of my piping bag. And I lied. The next thing we're going to do is prepare our donut pans. So I have discovered that donut pans come in a bazillion different sizes. And I know this because I owned one donut pan and I wanted another one of the same size. And the one I ordered that came was a different size. So I tried again, and that one was a different size. So I tried one more time, thinking I was ordering the exact same thing I already had, and it didn't happen. So my advice to you is, if you don't have donut pans already and you want them all to be the same size, order 4 of them at a time. Okay, just, you know, for quantity, hit 4. So here's my piping bag. Whether you're using a piping bag or a Ziploc bag, you want to fold down the top of the bag to give yourself a cuff to protect your hand and to keep the outside of the bag from getting dirty. And I'm just, see, I get distracted and I don't do things in the order I tell you I'm gonna do them. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're gonna fill our bag first and then I will prepare the pans. Yeah, I just get off on tangents. I can't. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so speaking of tangents, like my mind is just all on the building buttercream class tomorrow. I'm like really excited to do that. We've changed the time from late afternoon to evening, so it's now from 6:30 to 8:30, which I'm really hoping will work for more people's schedules. Just the more people we have, the more fun it is, right? All right, just shake that down in there. Twist the top. Now I have these great little bag ties that I use. But you know what? A twist tie works great. Okay. But not one of those bread clip things. These don't work. Okay, they like pop off. But a normal twist tie would be fine. Now you can either use your Crisco, solid Crisco, and grease the pans and then flour them, or you can use a spray that has flour in it. I do find that it's essential to flour, okay? If you want to be gourmet about it and have another cake mix, you could you know, grease your pan and then instead of using flour in it, use the cake mix as the flour. All right, so those are prepared. I'm just gonna cut the end of my, about there, bag off. So if you're using a Ziploc, you would cut the corner off your Ziploc. Can you see what I'm doing? Where do I need to be? Here? Somebody tell me if you can see me. I'm gonna go with this one. And I'm just piping the chocolate in there. Admittedly, it is not all that appealing looking. It's kind of an odd color. Like, I'm just gonna say it, poop emojis come to mind. So. I'm hoping to get 18 out of this. But it kind of depends on how much pressure you use. And I think that I used a little too much pressure on these over here. But we'll see. Hopefully I'll get it. Oh no. Maybe like one short. Oh well. That's all right. Let's see. Does anybody look skimpy? I do want to show you a trick, and I do this with frosting all the time. I think I've depleted this pretty well though. But if you can use something to just push the excess down to the tip of your piping bag. Yeah, I didn't get much from that, but sometimes when I'm making cupcakes, doing that gives me the frosting I need for the very last cupcake. All right, hang on just a second. I gotta get a little bit of water. The water is for my finger. I'm using it just to dampen it so that I can tap down these tails. So now what happens when you pipe too heavy is that when these rise up, they close up and you won't have the hole all the way through the center. But that's all right if you're not picky about having a perfect donut. That's all good. Alrighty. Now they go in the oven for 7 minutes. All right. So I'm gonna go put those in there. I'll be right back. Remember, the oven is heated to 425. Oops, I didn't. Oh, I should show you. Did I show you about how full they are? Alrighty, so those are in there for 7 minutes now. And let's see. I had something here I wanted to show you and now I can't find it. Yeah, well, I don't, oh, hang on. What that was actually a little bit of a brain fart. Sorry about that. Anyway, so these are the cookies we made this morning. And I just wanted to tell you a couple things about them. They are beautiful. They came out just fantastic. But I'm wondering, can you see the difference in the size and the spread of these two cookies? If you remember from this morning, they were all made using the same size scoop on the same pans. Everything was the same. So why are some bigger than the others? The ones that are bigger are like that because the dough was warmer, and the pan that I put them on, they were like the second run through. So the pan I put them on was already warm. What happens is that Okay, so one, the fat in the cookies was already warm from sitting in the bowl longer than the other ones. And then two, putting it on a warm pan, they started to spread before they were even in the oven because of the heat from the pan. All right, so they're still great, they're still wonderful, but I mean, this applies to all cookies. So like if you're making your cutout cookies and wondering, well, what the heck? Some of them didn't spread at all and others are not at all the shape that I cut out. That might be why. Here's the other thing. When you're making cookies, you are supposed to cool them completely on the pan. The reason for that is because the time they spend in the oven is just long enough to set them and begin to brown the edges. They actually continue to bake on the pan out of the oven. All right. So my rule of thumb is that you are supposed to, I don't always do it, but you are supposed to let the cookies cool on the pan until the pan is cool. All right. And depending on what type of pan you have, that may take longer. Like I said, I like to use air bake pans, and they tend to hold the heat longer. So do the darker finish pans. So it just kind of depends. Now, on the other hand, if you forgot to set the timer on the last batch, and they were in the oven a little bit longer than you intended to, then I would just leave them on the pan until you can touch them, and then transfer them to a wire rack to cool, because those have already been overbaked a little bit, and you don't want to, you don't want to let them continue to bake. You want them to start to cool. Alrighty. So 3 more minutes on the donuts. Can I tell you a little bit about building buttercream skills? This is the class that starts tomorrow. It's a 4-week class. And it is exactly what it says it is. We are going to be building your buttercream skills. Each week you will go home with decorated treats to show off to your friends or family, or just eat in the car on your way home. I don't know. Anyway, but like the first week, it'll be 6 cupcakes. The second week, it'll be a cake. The third week, it'll be 6 cupcakes. And the fourth week will be an 8-inch cake. We are going to cover everything from making buttercream to buttercream consistencies to tinting and flavoring it, how to build your piping bag, how to get different color effects within one piping bag, how to use a variety of different piping tips. There's going to be a lot of practice time. I give you permission to waste frosting as much as you want, because we got to practice it. I mean, that's the only way you get better. So there'll be a lot of practice just on parchment paper, but like I said, at the end of each class, you will get to take home completed treats. I provide everything you need. All you have to do is show up. You might want to bring an apron. You might want to bring a drink. Other than that, I've got it all. Okay. It's $140 for all 4 classes, which is a really good deal, because normally when I offer these subjects individually, they are $40 per class. And so by signing up for all 4 at $140, you're saving $20. Plus, this gives you a good consistent workflow that will really help you build your skills throughout the class. We are meeting Wednesday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30, and it's a beginner level class. So as long as you have the patience to sit and practice, you are welcome in the class. So, 122 left on the donuts. What else can I ramble on about? For the 2 ingredient donuts, I did dark chocolate and pumpkin, but there are all sorts of, like, you can start with any flavor cake mix you want to, all right? And then mix-ins. So I used 1 can of pure pumpkin, right? You could also use 2 cups of mashed bananas, or 2 cups of cinnamon applesauce. I do find that pumpkin and bananas hold together better. The applesauce donuts are pretty fragile. Let's just put it that way. I was considering maybe when using applesauce, doing some sour cream, just something a little thicker than the applesauce. So yeah, so lots of fun things you could do. You could make an apple cinnamon donut. You know what? I bet you we'll have to try this. I'll bet you could do peanut butter in place of pumpkin or bananas or applesauce. So that would be good, really good, like chocolate peanut butter. Ah, there's the timer. Be right back. Yeah, I'm having trouble getting them out. Need another glove. Alrighty. Aren't those beautiful? So maybe I didn't overfill. See, there's holes in each one of those. And the second tray. Yum, yum, yum. Hot, hot, hot. Ouch. All right, I'm going to put my last tray in. I don't know about you guys, but I can never find two of the same oven mitts. It's like, I know I had it earlier. Where'd it go? So anyway, I do only use, when I'm doing the donuts, I only use the middle rack. So however many pans I can fit on that is what I do. Because otherwise I feel the need to open the oven halfway through and switch them top to bottom rack, and that just lets too much heat out of the oven and adds cook time, and sometimes they fall during that time that they're cooled off. So, I mean, let's talk about topping these donuts. Oh, where is it? All right, so technically we're adding 2 more ingredients, I guess, if you want them frosted. This happens to be the Wilton white icing, but the Duncan Hines icing or anything like that will work great too. And what you want to do is, open it up, make sure to take this off, and you're gonna put it in the microwave for like 15 seconds and give it a stir. And then put it in the microwave for another 15 seconds and give it a stir. You just want a nice, smooth, liquidy substance, right? But not too hot. You also want to make sure that your donuts are fully cooled, okay? Probably beyond. Like, I am going to wait to decorate these. I'll let them cool in their pans. Then I'm going to chill them in the fridge. And then I will decorate them. Because that way then what you'll do is with a spoon, you'll pour this over your donuts, and with them being refrigerated and cool, they'll help that icing set up quicker so it doesn't just go all the way down the sides that you have nothing left on the top. That was attractive, wasn't it? So anyway, you'll pour your icing onto them, and then right away add some sprinkles to them if you want sprinkles. If you don't want sprinkles, you don't have to add sprinkles. Alrighty, and then you'll just let that icing set up and they will be good to go. So super yummy snack. You guys could do this and have it done before the kids get home from school. Wouldn't they be surprised? I think that'd be awesome. Anyway, that was just my oven coming back to temperature. It never fails that when I go to turn off the timer, I hit the wrong button and I turn off the temperature. So I always have to reset that too. Anywho, that is all I have for you right now. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And if you come back tonight at 9 o'clock, after my kids are in bed, we are going to make an altered cake box recipe, okay? We're actually gonna make mini cupcakes with it. And I'm just gonna show you how to start with a box and give it a really unique flavor. So I hope you'll come back and see me at 9 o'clock, and I hope that I will see you in Building Buttercream Skills tomorrow. Bye.